Hello and welcome to another Overpaid Over the Bar with me, Anthony, looking back at Game Week 30 and forward to Game Week 31. So, this is how my team did last week in 30. A bit disappointed here, mainly because I made two transfers, Mohamed Salah and Ekatike. And what you really want if you make two transfers is it for both players to be sitting on the bench at the start of the game. Not what I expected. I must say they did play well when they came on, these two players, except they couldn't finish. Salah's final ball and Ekatike's finishing. I mean, they could have scored at least one or two goals between them, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, and so I ended up with very few points from them. Luckily, true fair, Bournemouth got three bonus points and DEFCONs with a clean sheet. So it rescued me a bit because my red arrow wasn't too bad, down to 11k out of the top 10k, which is a bit disappointing. Darlow in goal. Quite a good, I'm quite happy with that purchase because Leeds might double in game week 33. We'll talk about that in a bit. Um, Gabriel, as usual. Timber went off injured, but looks like he's coming back for Arsenal. Of course, they don't play in the league this weekend. And Thiago got a typical Thiago goal, and I'm quite happy keeping him in the team. Let's just look at the overpaid league. Well, Freddie in second place played his bench boost, and he's now top 30k and only 23 points behind me. If you haven't seen the video this week, by the way, that we recorded on Monday or Tuesday with Freddie and Adam about Arsenal, you should watch that because they're both Arsenal fans. So they very much know their Arsenal. No, they know their Arsenal from their elbow, you might say. That was a good watch if you haven't, because they know their football, check that out if you haven't already. Freddie up to top 30k. Apart from that, Gonzalo did well this week on 62 points, moving up into the top three. Everyone else did okay. Actually, the top eight in this mini league are all in the top million, just nearly half the league. So we're all doing pretty well here, and this season's been not the easiest to get into the top million. So well done to everyone still playing, still competing, still making those transfers. Let's make it the best finish we can in this season. Now, game week 31 is a week where Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Manchester City, and Wolves will not play. But as I've said before, looking at these fixtures, there's nothing here that screams points to me. I think there are certain teams that you might want to look at. Manchester United at Bournemouth, because Bournemouth's defence have been looking shaky. They have been keeping clean sheets, but they've been looking shaky as well. And I do think the potency of the Manchester United attack, however, sometimes however shaky they do look in defensive midfield or defence, their attack has got several players that can cause problems for defenders. I do think Man United will score at Bournemouth. I think if you've got Man United players, you don't sell them. Obviously, you might want to get an extra one, maybe. The other team to look at is Fulham, at home to Burnley. Fulham did very well away at Burnley. You would imagine the same thing to happen at home. Harry Wilson picked up a haul at Burnley. And if you haven't got Harry Wilson, he's one of the main players to look at in terms of buying. The other one to look at is Anthony Gordon for Newcastle because they seem to be, well, he seems to be coming into a very good vein of form. Sunderland haven't been playing so well recently, but they have got players coming back into the team that they've been missing. The goalkeeper, Roos, and Mukiele coming back in, I think. I'm not sure of this fixture, but Sunderland they seem to have fallen off a bit, which is understandable given they're a promoted team who spectacularly overachieved, we might say. Of course, this is the derby game. So the fans really, really want this game. Having won the other game at home, they'll be looking for the double against Newcastle. So it's not like I don't think Newcastle winning this or scoring two or three goals in this is a given at all. But Anthony Gordon, certainly a good pick for this fixture if you want to make a transfer to boost your starting 11. If you haven't got 11 players, he's one to look at. Harry Wilson, as I said, is another one to look at. Apart from that, well, You might want to try a Forest player or Spurs player, but like many of the fixtures this week, which way is that going to go? I mean, I don't even trust Aston Villa at home to West Ham. There's a lot of teams here on this list where Everton, Chelsea, okay, Chelsea should be Everton, but we've seen Chelsea a little bit unpredictable and not reliable defensively. Leeds at home to Brentford. Brentford very good going forward. They can snatch goals. Leeds looking much more solid at the minute. So when it comes to making your team for this week, I think you have got to be pretty careful about this because blank game weeks, people are desperate to get 11 players, and I understand it. And I might not have 11 players because Mohamed Salah is currently yellow flagged after asking to be substituted, apparently because of an injury for Liverpool home to Galatasaray after putting in a very good performance. And now I'm looking at this thinking, can I survive with 10 players if Salah's not fit to play? And I do have a suspicion he won't play in this game. So I'm thinking maybe I should make another transfer, get rid of Declan Rice, bring in Gordon or Wilson, and then put, I don't know, Ryan on the bench, and he will come on if Salah doesn't play. I think that's probably my best move for this game week. But I won't make up my mind until I've heard about Mohamed Salah this morning from Arne Slot. Obviously, he calls me directly. No, in the press conference this morning, he may give some indication of Salah's fitness. And in this case, I will make my transfer decision based on that. Otherwise, be careful about playing chips this week or making transfers because we don't know what's going to happen in the future weeks, and you may need your chips for then, and you may not make much gain by playing a chip this week. So, my strong advice is lay off hits if you can avoid it. Don't take any hits if you can avoid it, and don't play any chips if you can avoid it. Game week 32 doesn't happen for 3 weeks after game week 31 in the second weekend of April. In the first weekend of April, we will have the FA Cup fixtures. Results of those FA Cup games will tell us which teams will double in game week 33 because teams will double in game week 33. The most likely among those are teams like Newcastle, Leeds, Arsenal. Okay. But we don't know, and we don't know they'll definitely be put into 33 either, although the likelihood is they will be, because lots of teams are out of Europe now. So there are many midweeks, there are several midweeks where they could go instead of 33, but people believe that's where they will go. The people who seem to know about this kind of thing, and I usually write, say this is the week, game week 33, where we will have several teams with a double game week, and game week 34 will therefore be a blank because that's also an FA Cup weekend when the fixtures will be moved from for game week 33. So you can either wait until the FA Cup fixtures are over, then decide, okay, I'm going to play my double game. I'm going to play my wild card in game week 32. You may also decide that your squad looks okay for 32 because remember in 32, Chelsea play Manchester City. Now, say you've got rid of your Manchester City players completely for this blank, and some people have. Some people have sold Haaland. Some people still have Semenyo, but you might have got rid of a defender or something like that. Maybe you've only got one. So you look at this game week, you think, well, I don't need Manchester City so much for this game week. Now, Liverpool play Manchester City in the FA Cup. If Manchester City win against Liverpool in the FA Cup, they will have a double game week in 33. If Liverpool win, Liverpool will have a double game week in 33. Not 100% certain, but that is the very strong likelihood. Now, you might think at this point, well, I need Manchester City for game week 33, but you could play a free hit in 33 for this double game week. So it depends on how your squad looks for 32, whether you wildcard in 32, I think. And you might want a bench boost in 33. and then the wild card makes a lot of sense. So this is going to be a lot of fun eventually. At the moment, it's just a headache. It's just like lots of people playing around with hypothetical scenarios where we in the end we can't really give you any advice at all. So at the minute, the advice is just to sit tight, wait for game week 31 to be done, and then the FA Cup fixtures 2 weekends later, right? So you won't know for two weeks really what you need to be doing, and then make your decisions. Okay, so I'm looking this weekend at a team which is not great at all. I don't see any of these defenders necessarily keeping clean sheets or this goalkeeper. Maybe Enzo could get something at Everton. Maybe Ryan can recapture his early goal scoring form for Bournemouth. I'm just not that confident. I think out of Harry Wilson and Anthony Gordon, out of those two players, I think I will, if I hear about Salah not being ready to play on Sunday, is it? No, it's tomorrow. Saturday. It's an early game tomorrow. He will struggle to make that, you'd assume. So if I hear about him not playing in that, I will sell Rice and buy Harry Wilson, I think, because I think he's the most likely player to go off out of all the possibilities this weekend. If you've got Fulham players, you hope to get an advantage over other. But I'm not expecting a green arrow this week. I very much hope for one. Good luck to you in your quest for a green arrow, and I hope your team wins, whoever that may be. This is Anthony saying goodbye, good luck, God bless. See you next.